literally get yourself out the house and go to events. Sometimes I find myself, I'm very much a homebody and very much a shy person, but honestly, for the sake of my business, like I think networking is so important that sometimes I'll just force myself to go places because I think it will be beneficial for me to just meet people and expand my networks. I even think like we're a good example, right? Like we met through Bumble BFF friends. Like we met because we all were like, we're not from this area, so all of our friends were on Bumble BFF to trying to meet other Black women, essentially. And through that, now we have a community, and this community is very supportive.
No, we're so supportive.
But that is initiative, getting on the app, that's just one way. But we got on the apps because we wanted friends, and there's something to having lots of friends too. And those people will be potential supporters of you when you, start something or, need a job, even.
Today, we have a very special guest. We have Gabrielle Whittle, founder of Relevé. I am so excited. How are you doing, Gabbie?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for coming on. We have our espressos. We're just like vibing. Makeup is looking so good. Hair is looking so good.
Thank you.
All right. So I like to start each podcast off by asking, what is your story?
Oof. I know. I feel like I'm writing my story.
I love that.
I feel like I'm figuring it out. Like as we go. But my background is in product development and design. So, I always found myself to be someone where people would ask me like, oh, like, I like your outfit. Like, where'd you get things? And I started my business when I was in college. I was studying mechanical engineering. And honestly, I kind of fell into entrepreneurship randomly, like toward the end of my college career. And it kind of opened this world of new career opportunities I could create for myself, essentially, with the degree that I had and the education that I had versus the traditional, graduate, get a job, work here for 10 years, get promoted, blah, blah, blah. And like, that's part of what I'm doing, but I also wanted to create other options for myself. And so I had this idea to start a business when I was in school studying entrepreneurship in addition to my engineering classes. And I came up with these adaptable high heel shoes that is like this dream product where you have this high heel that looks cute and looks awesome, but you can remove the heel and wear it as like a low heel or a flat if you want to. So it's comfortable, it's versatile. It'll limit the amount of shoes that you'd have in your closet. And so I literally set out for the next year or two, like trying to develop that product. And through that, I did some engineering and some design, and it's been a long road and it's been hard, and I still don't have the shoes of my dreams. But what I decided to do was launch Relevé as an accessories company. And so my brand is called Relevé. And currently we sell these unique, fun, cylinder-shaped handbags. With my background in like design and development, this kind of thing was the first product of my own that I developed, but it wasn't the first product I ever created. So it's exciting for me to work on something that was truly just for me and designed by me and had my personality in it. And so, yeah, I don't know if that answered your question, but
no, it totally did. I love that. So, you went immediately to career, which we love because this is like, I feel like that's what the girls want to know. But I'm curious, like, even what drew you to entrepreneurship, or like, especially because you said you had a degree in engineering.
Yeah.
Which every time people say things like that, I'm like, I don't know what any of that means. So
I was literally studying mechanical engineering, and I feel like my background in mechanical engineering is relevant here because background. So my school is very heavy on like co-ops and internships. And so while I was in school, I was doing these 6-month-long internships at different companies. What I saw myself doing was creating things. And like, I was always a creative person. And so I thought through engineering, I'd be able to like create, which is true. But I ended up working a lot in like medical devices, which is interesting, but not what I wanted to do necessarily. And then my next internship, I started working with consumer electronics, which was also fun. Like through that, I would work on like techie devices, like think like Alexa is an example I gave. Like I didn't work on Alexa, but like similar type things, like electronic devices that you can have in your household. And I would do like early stage prototyping and 3D printing. And I feel like the skill that has like carried me into multiple careers is my ability to design things like 3-dimensionally in CAD and 2-dimensionally in like AutoCAD, SolidWorks, things like that. My second internship that I did was in the Bay Area. I came to California from Boston. I really liked it. I even liked my job, but I didn't see myself really doing what I was doing for the rest of my life. And so I had this opportunity to take classes in entrepreneurship, like the entrepreneurship and business school at my school, but in San Francisco. They have like a campus here. And so I spent once out of like, I was all engineering my whole career in college, except for this one semester where I only took entrepreneurship classes. And it literally opened my world to just like this brand new, I thought I was going to hate it. In fact, like my first few like weeks into the program, I was telling my parents, like, this is not for me. Like, I don't get it. Like, blah, 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 blah. But it just opened my mind to what is available to you through entrepreneurship. And honestly, like, I credit that program a lot because the professors weren't just like people who studied entrepreneurship. They were entrepreneurs. And honestly, I think what also inspired me is these people were rich. Like these people were making bank like off their businesses, like, doing very innovative things. And I think it just opened up this world of like possibilities for me. And like, okay, like you can create something and like make money from it. And so I started enjoying it when I started kind of curating it to my own like liking. And so in that program is where I came up with the idea for this like adaptable high heel, which would, kind of include the interests that I have in fashion and also engineering. And I think as well, like what that program did for me, because I was educated, like I think as someone who doesn't know any entrepreneurs, doesn't have any, like my family is very traditional. My mom's a nurse. My dad's also a mechanical engineer. And so, they graduated college, they got a job. They stayed at those jobs for 30 plus years, like, very traditional. And I always saw business and entrepreneurship as something that you needed to be rich, like to start. Like you need and to an extent that's true in a lot of cases. Like you do need money to start a business, but you don't necessarily personally need to be rich to start a business. So it made it more accessible to me. It changed my mindset a lot and being like, oh, like, and even like we were talking, right, about, I was telling you how much money I would need to launch my business. Like I launched my business in some sense, but the footwear aspect of it is not launched. And we were having a conversation about how much money I would really need to launch that. And it's a big number, but like, that's not what scares me. Like there is money to start things. It's just getting that money.
Yeah.
And it became like, that's what I learned. Like a lot of people aren't rich and they start businesses. Like there are ways to get investments and grants and things like that to make your idea a reality. And so even though I'm not there yet, I have hope because I think I kind of know the path I need to take to get there.
Totally. And I think something that is so inspirational about you to me that is making launching any kind of product feel more accessible because you were like, okay, I'm not ready to start the footwear aspect, but I can do these handbags. And I know it is not the full thing that you want to be doing, but these handbags are stunning. Thanks. And I feel like that is what you're using to essentially fund your
exactly.
So I think there's something to starting before you're ready.
Yes.
But how did that pivot come about? Like what made you land on handbags?
So I was invited to speak at an event at my school. And so through this, like, this idea for, like, this is another example of, especially if you're a student, like a lot of schools and universities have like opportunities for people to start a business. And my school in particular, like there was this grant that I applied for and I won it and it was $10,000.
Congrats.
Thank you. Amazing. Thank you. So it was like, money to help me like start building my idea. And in hindsight, it wasn't enough to start the idea that I actually wanted. That group is really supportive. That group at my school, they're called Women Who Empower. And it's basically an organization at my school for women entrepreneurs, and they support them. They have an Instagram, they have events and things like that. And so they were inviting me to an event and they were like, oh, we'd love to promote your venture, the event. And I was like, shit, like sorry, I swore.
I cuss all the time on this podcast.
Okay. I was like, shit, like I don't have anything that, there's one thing I realized about entrepreneurship as well is that like there's so many people who will be willing to support you just because they believe in your idea. You know what I mean? And so I was like, damn, like this organization wants to support me and I have no way that they can support me. And so I was trying to make like some sort of merch for that event. And then it ended up like not working out that I was able to make something for that event that they could like promote. But it inspired me to like, even like I have this idea, a lot of people know about it, even though it's not executed in like its full capacity. Like people know about it, people want it to happen, people are supporting me and my vision. And so I was like, I feel like I need to have something that people can buy or like, give me money for that can help support this vision that people want. Like anytime I tell people about what I'm trying to do, they're really excited about it. And they're like, oh, when are the shoes dropping? When are the shoes dropping? And so not that I like am like, oh, like, if you want the shoes to happen, buy my bag. Like, not necessarily, but I do think there is something to having like an item or something that people can support your business with, especially at that stage. And it kind of has turned into, that's how it started, is turned into this own thing where people are buying the handbag. They don't know me, you know what I mean? But originally it started off as like, oh, like I have this network of people who want to support me. I'm like, okay, I need to give them a mechanism in which they can, other than just like giving me straight up money. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's so interesting. I think there's just so many things we can also parse out from that. Specifically, though, around your college and like the community that you found to immerse yourself into so they can help like you grow your business. Because I feel like there were so many things like that even in my college, but I feel like I just was like, oh, I don't really want to do that. Or like, I don't really want to get involved with those things. And I think I felt like that and then was looking to start other ventures. And then I felt like no one was there to support me, which wasn't necessarily true because I feel like there are these resources and things for people to support you, but you have to like put yourself out there for people to even know that they can support you in those ways.
For sure.
Were you approached by these people or did they, like, how did that come about?
This specific, so I wasn't part of this, like, I didn't really even knew this organization exists. I saw the grant and one of my friends sent it to me, and that's how I got involved with it. And also, it was very, like, I think this is a conversation about resources in general, too, but basically what happened is someone sent me the grant, I applied for it, and I won. And so through that, I've been involved with that community, but even more so, through that, I've also started to become involved with like the Women's Entrepreneurship Club. It's funny because I was talking about this I have like two kid students. I have two students that I mentor at my university. And like one of the things that I've been trying to talk to them about as well is like utilizing university resources. There's a lot of resources. Like if you go to college, I feel like going to college is like not about just the education. Like you need to get every single thing that you can get out of your university, especially if you're paying to go there. I think it's a matter of seeking out those resources. Like what's the point of going to university if you're not like squeezing them for what they have? And at least at my school, there was a lot of grants and like resources for women entrepreneurs and like entrepreneurs in general. And so honestly, I wasn't even part of either of these organizations when I was an undergrad. It's besides the one that I won the grant. Like I won that as an undergrad, but like the Women's Entrepreneurship Club and like other organizations that I've been part of since, I've only really discovered after I graduated. But it was a matter of like seeking out those resources and like applying and stuff like that.
So you could still apply even after you graduated?
Yeah, actually. So at my school, my school is like lately has been very focused on building their entrepreneurship department. And so they have a lot of grants and resources for entrepreneurs, whether you're a student, alumni, a professor, et cetera, et cetera. And I think a lot of universities too, like they realize that like once you graduate, you're still an asset to them. So they want to, incentivize you to still participate in the community. And it's worked. Like, I've since graduated, but, anytime this organization reaches out to me to like mentor like students or like speak at an event, I do it because that's my network now. You know what I mean? And so like when I have, when Christmas rolls around and they're like, oh, we want to shout you on your Instagram, like they're like, oh, they come to me because they know me and I'm connected to that community. So I think networking in general is like a very powerful tool, especially if you're part of a university. Like that's kind of what you should be there for. Like obviously you're there to get an education, but I think there's just a lot to gain from just like meeting people, especially through college and your university, and like, talking to your professors and like utilizing whatever resources are available to you through your university.
What you're saying is like golden, because I feel like like for me, for example, like I did not tap into my college's resources like that. So the fact that you're saying I can basically go back and just see what's up and see if they'd be willing to support me, because I feel like they would be able to or would want to. But even beyond like college, just I feel like putting yourself out there, exposing yourself to different people. And more often than not, like these people do want to support you, which is like wild to me. Like just how supportive people in general are when you just like give them the means to support you. But like say if someone's listening and like they didn't go to college and they're just like, well, how do I, put myself out there more? How do I create a network, create a community? What would your advice to them be?
Yeah, I think putting yourself out there and like literally get yourself out the house and go to events. You know what I mean? Like Sometimes I find myself, I'm very much a homebody and very much a shy person. But honestly, for the sake of my business, like I think networking is so important that sometimes I'll just force myself to go places because I think it will be beneficial for me to just meet people and expand my network. So like, for example, someone sent me, and like there's like, I feel like there's like straight up networking and then there's just like social events, and both of those things are equally valuable. I even think like we're a good example, right? Like we met through Bumble BFF friends. Like we met because we all were like we're not from this area, so all of our friends were on Bumble BFF to trying to meet other Black women essentially. And through that, now we have a community, and this community is very supportive.
No, we're so supportive.
We support each other so good, and it's just like, you know, but that is initiative, you know, getting on the app, you know, that's just one way. But we got on the apps because we wanted friends, and there's something to having lots of friends too. And those people will be potential supporters of you when you know, start something or, you know, need a job, you know, even, you know. And so I think it's a matter of like saying yes when people invite you out, and also just putting yourself out there. Like, you know, there's an example of like trying to find friends on Bumble BFF, but also just going out, being friendly, talking to people. Even like, for example, there's a local business, you know, at Kinfolk. And like, I don't know the co-owner that well, but one time I was at Target, and before he was starting the business, before it had launched, I ran into him, and he was like, oh, I was buying wine at Target. He's like, oh, I'm about to like open up a wine bar. And at first I thought he was hitting on me, but he wasn't. And I was like, oh, like, that's cool. You're a Black owned wine bar. And so we ended up exchanging contact information. And so like, and I see him around. So like every time I see him around, I just like say hello. And like, you know, I like support his business. Like I show up and like, you know, tag his business, things like that. And I think there's something to having like, especially a local community, like who, you know, knows you, knows your face. And so like I've had events at his coffee shop, and like one of the co-founders invited me to Oakland Style Week. That's kind of part of how I got into that event.
Oh, dope.
Yeah. And there's also, honestly, low-key, I feel like I didn't even realize it until recently. I've done a lot of networking within the Oakland community. So like, even like I was part of a accelerator program. And so he's also part of that accelerator, or like one of the like supporters of it. Like I think he works for the accelerator or something. But anyways, like he wanted to uplift like some of the businesses that were part of that accelerator. And so he reached out to me. Yeah. And so like, you know, I was just at Target, you know, buying some wine, and then he decided to be friendly to me, but I decided to be friendly back. And so, you know, just being friendly and open to talking to people. Like I got his Instagram, and so like we see each other around, and now that person is part of my network. You know what I mean?
So you spoke to it already, but like, so today is Saturday, we're recording, and we love to use Saturday as like our getting on our Zoom days, which I think really helps us because we both work 9 to 5, and we like to use the weekends to really get ahead in both of our businesses. I also like to work when other people aren't working. Like, I don't know if you feel like that.
Is it aren't or are?
Aren't working. Like, I feel like people to kind of take the weekends off, like, and so like kind of, I feel like I'm getting ahead a little bit by like getting on my Zoom on the weekends. Especially like before I record podcasts, I just started taking these like Magic Mind shots. I've been using them for like about 2-ish weeks now. Gabbie tried it today, and what were your thoughts?
It was good. Like, I feel like it really gave me some mental clarity.
Yeah.
And the taste was good too.
Yeah. I'm going to get them to send you a box because like having it to start each day, I feel like has really helped me like stop procrastinating as much. It literally says it on the bottle. It's called their productivity shot. It's subtly sweet. It has matcha in it, which matcha is so good because it is that extended caffeine release. So whereas coffee is like one, I mean, y'all know I love my coffee, but matcha, the caffeine extends out slowly, which is really nice. But also you can take this with coffee and it won't like give you the jitter. So like I had my coffee and I had this and it was totally fine. Along with matcha, it also has turmeric, even olive oil, ashwagandha, L-theanine, tons of adaptogens, tons of nootropics. Nootropics are so great for focus. And so this has just been, I call it my like little getting on my Zoom juice.
Okay. That's very too, because I feel like sometimes when we're working all day, we get a little like unfocused. So I think like something to like, you know, keep you on your task is like super needed.
No, literally. I've even taken some like around that like midday slump and like back on my Zoom. I'm back on my Zoom. Okay, so head to www.magicmind.com/Angel Foster, and that's Angel with 2 L's, ANGELLFOSTER. You'll get 56% off of your subscription with my code Foster PD20. That's FOSTER PD20. Definitely go run and try out Magic Mind. You will not regret it. Literally, like I said, I am so obsessed. Period. No, I literally saw a TikTok where it was saying it's so easy to kind of be like a local celebrity just by talking to people because people don't talk. So as soon as you like start talking, you meet more people, and then it's like, oh, everybody's like, hey, what's up? That's that girl that has those purses, or that's it's so easy. It's really because people just don't do that.
And I feel like I was very late to the game on that. Like I feel like my sister hates this, but like I give school an example because this is where I feel like a lot of us like are like enlightened to like networking and whatever. But anyways, like I feel like in college and even like high school there were like niggas to know, like there were people who were just niggas to know. Everyone knew them, you know what I mean? Yes. And like I feel like you should aim to be a nigga to know.
The goal should be to be a nigga
to know. Like
that's so real.
Because when you think nigga to know, like a few people pop into your head, like, oh, he's a nigga to know. Like you want to be that person, and I feel like the way you be that person is just to talk to people, be friendly, get Instagram, say hi, follow up, like, and suddenly like a lot of people know you. Like even when we went to an event at Sweet July. This is partly because of my business, but we went to an event at Sweet July like a week or two ago, and I walked in,
everybody knew you,
and the lady was like, oh. And I was low-key like, I forgot who you were, but like, I was like, oh shit, like who I am, like
you're popping.
We had, but then after we started talking, I realized we had met at one of her events. Like I had gone to one of her events before. I was a vendor at her event, and so like we'd been connected through that. Like, and suddenly you start knowing people, like in the town, shit.
That is so funny. I feel like everybody who knows me has like found me on TikTok and been like, oh, I found you on TikTok. So I feel like that is a much cooler way, like actually meeting people in person, because it feels also like you're building like real people, like a real following in person.
Exactly. And that's something that like I feel like I learned recently too, because for example, my business, a lot of my customers are all over the country, right? And a lot of them are on the East Coast, honestly, like New York, Florida, a lot in Texas too. And I realized through like vending in person and going to pop-ups, I'm starting to like build a local community. And there's value in that too. You know what I mean? Like there's definitely value in being known as like an Oakland brand, you know what I mean? Or like wherever you're from. And so I think having an internet presence is great and valuable and necessary. I think having somewhat of a local presence is also very valuable.
And also save on shipping costs because you can just drop things.
Honestly, I've been looking for like more like content creators to work with. That's the one thing I'm missing. I've been looking for more local content creators to work with for that same reason.
In what way?
Well, because I want to be able to collaborate with people, like, and not even just like post on their Instagram. Like, I want to be able to do more like shoots and stuff like that. Like, I did one collaboration with a local stylist. You were there. You came.
Yes, I was there.
Yeah, and it was. I want to do more collaborations. Is I guess what I'm saying. So at an event. This is a good example. At an event I went to, I met this stylist, and she has like a decent following on TikTok, Instagram, whatever. And at that time I had just launched my business. And so we started talking at this event. And through that event, we decided to do a collaboration where she would style my bags. And I kind of gave her creative control. Like I was just kind of there for the collaboration. And she would style my bags. She had a photographer friend who came too, and we took pictures. And so I got content, she got content, the photographer got content, and that was really fruitful for my business. Actually, in fact, recently someone hit me up like, "Oh, I found you through so and so."
There's something to like networking. I think Easter egg says that, like networking across. Like you as a new brand founder, like you don't have maybe the funds to hire a full team like that, but if you, like you said, you gave up creative control, so this person could get the content that they needed, and in turn you also like your styles aligned, so you were able to use it. And it
was great because like she didn't have to like buy new clothes or like new handbags. Like it was just great because it was just fresh content for her, and it was also like really good content for me. And so I've been kind of hoping, like I haven't been doing a good job of it, but what I want for my business is to look for more people that I can collaborate with locally. Because like that would have been hard to do if she was based in like New York or something like that, So more of that I think is really good, and I want. So.
Nice. Yeah. Okay. So as a Black-owned business, I'm curious, like what have been like some of the biggest challenges you feel like you've faced? And any advice you can share for anyone?
I think as a Black-owned business, I think what it has been a challenge is generally just like my inexperience and also like lack of funds. And so I think that's more less specific to me being a Black owned business and just kind of like an underrepresented founder. And so, you know, there's limited resources and also like limited experience. And so I don't feel like I've made a ton of mistakes, but I feel like I've, you know, having been in business for like 8 months now, there's some things I would have done differently.
What things?
Price my handbags more higher.
Speak on it.
And I was even like, so I just got connected to someone who I think is going to be my business mentor. And I was talking to him about like how I think I priced my product too low. And he was like, yeah, like I feel like that's the number one mistake that founders make, first time founders make, and also underrepresented founders make. And so that's something that I would have done differently, I think. And then, like I said, like limited resources, but that's something that I've been working on. I think there's also something to being a Black owned business. Sometimes people don't like trust you, if you know what I mean. I feel like people sometimes expect Black owned businesses to be like, I don't know, like poor customer service,
not
or like
quality,
or low quality, right. And so I haven't run into it too much, but I do think, you know, one thing I'm trying to do for my business that I'm maybe not struggling with, but like thinking about a lot is like how to make my business be perceived as high quality. Sometimes I think people don't see it that way. I mean, I think when people get the product, it looks high quality and feels high quality.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think there's something to being a new business and also sometimes Black owned business where people automatically perceive your brand is just not as expensive. Not that it needs to be expensive, but like, I don't know. And I do think there's something to extending grace to like, you know, the fact that my business or a business that's small and Black owned might be just small, and like, you know, I try to have good customer service. I think I have good customer service.
Yeah. It's also only you. Like
it's only me.
Yeah.
If you get a response from Relevé, it is me. I answered it. I'm the customer service hat. I am the marketing hat. I'm literally everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do think I have good customer service. I think, and I don't think this is specific to Black owned businesses. I think it's just, you know, sometimes people don't remember that, you know, people are sometimes a little like mean, like not all the time, but like sometimes I'll get emails. People will be like, I was doing a pre-order, and, you know, the nature of a pre-order is you buy the product, you get early access to the product, but you have to wait longer for it. And so I didn't get a lot, but like I was a little bit late on the pre-order. So that was like a small mistake, but I was only like 4 days late on when I said the product was gonna ship. But even before I was late, like I was getting emails from people being like, where's my bag? Like, I don't know. And like being like, I ordered your product, and where's it? And like, I feel like I was being clear about like when you would get it. And I updated people as soon as like I realized it was going to be a few days late, and it was only like 4 or 5 days late. Yeah. Most people were waiting for at least a month. So I feel like in the grand scheme of things, that wasn't like terrible. And it wasn't my fault. Like, it's just a matter of the bag shipping to me. But, you know, I think sometimes people forget like there's a person behind this business. And,
yeah.
You know.
I think also in the Amazon culture, like we think all companies are operating on the same level as Amazon, but it's like that is just not the reality. Like you're dealing with different.
Exactly.
You can speak to it. Like what's the reality?
Exactly. And honestly, I think this is something to be and to what I was saying about quality too and like price, no one's complained about the price. In fact, most people have told me that, or if they are complaining about the price, they're not complaining to my face. But it doesn't matter because the price is the price. And I think another reason I realized that my product should be more expensive is because like a lot goes into making it, just like myself and the people who are actually, you know, sewing the bag. Like a lot goes into making it. It is high quality. And generally speaking, like you were saying, this Amazon culture, like we expect things to be, you know, $9.99, like cheap. But like these products, like especially if it's ethically made and high quality, take a lot of time and a lot of effort to make. And it's not like a handbag is not, it's a luxury. Like, you know, you don't need a handbag. And so if you want it, you should pay what it's worth, which honestly, a handbag should never be less than a certain price. Like these things are not like, people think it just runs down the factory line. Like no, like things like handbags and a lot of clothes in general, it's not as much of an automated process as people think. Like a lot of manual labor goes into making fashion products. And so like, I think people forget that, you know, this is not Amazon. Like I don't have, you know, this super optimized shipping system. Like I ship it myself. You know, it's ethically made, so the people are getting paid, you know, a proper salary to make them items and blah, 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 blah. We just live in a world where like fast fashion and like fast everything is so normalized. People forget when things are made right and made ethically, like it's going to cost a certain amount and you might have to wait for it.
And I'm okay to wait for it. It's going to be, you know, good and last a long time.
Yeah. And I don't think people are waiting that much, but like, you know.
No, they're not. 4 days. I'm like,
no.
Girl.
And I ship normal USPS. Like, and honestly, I feel like I'm pretty good. Like, if I get an order, your order is probably going out minimum the next day. Like, I try to ship my things out like ASAP. To me, that's like a customer service thing, and like I wouldn't want you to wait like as like super. But yeah, I think people just forget that, you know, or don't realize how much work and effort and money goes into making fashion products, particularly, and that's why you might have to wait for it, and that's why it might cost what it costs.
Okay, so it's kind of wild hearing you talk about all these things that you are doing, because as you're saying this, I'm like, damn, Gabbie is doing a lot. And I'm also remembering like you have a full-time job on top of this. So how the hell are you managing your full-time job and this amazing handbag and soon to come footwear business?
The truth is, I'm not. No,
She's not managing it.
I'm not managing it. No, I'm kidding. The truth is I'm not. I think I made a mistake. And so I would feel like, you know, you become an entrepreneur, you're not automatically going to be able to sustain yourself on that revenue that you're making. Like oftentimes, most businesses aren't profitable. Like
for the first 5 years.
For the first 5 years. No.
It's going to fly by. I mean, you saw Aurora James said she just paid off her loan from that dude.
Yeah, and that was crazy.
Yeah.
That was a mistake, but still. But yeah, like, you know, money has to be reinvested back into the business. And like, you know, it takes a while to grow. And so a lot of entrepreneurs still have to keep their 9-to-5 job. I do think finding a job that isn't going to drain you and so is going to give you flexible like work-life balance is really important for being able to basically have 2 jobs, which is your business and your 9-to-5. But I also think it's like, you know, in order to be an entrepreneur, you have to really be willing to hustle and like sacrifice your free time to work on your, you know, your projects. And so, I mean, I try my best, honestly, to use like nights and weekends. I mean, you know, we work together on Saturdays a lot. And the good thing is I like kind of like to work. The bad thing is like I feel like I don't have a lot of free time. But, you know, I think of it as temporary. And I do think there is something to curating your 9-to-5 situation so you don't feel like you're working like 80 hours a week.
Yeah.
Maybe closer to like 50 or 60. But
what does that look like to curate your 9-to-5 situation?
I think finding a job that...
A lazy girl job.
A lazy girl job. Honestly, let's speak on it. Like, find yourself a nice lazy girl job that is flexible, hybrid. Like, luckily, my job is hybrid. It's not as hybrid as I'd like it to be. But I work from home minimum once a week, usually just once a week. And on that day, I'm able to get all my like, you know, work done for my company. And then I'm also to like do a lot of work for Relevé. So that helps me a lot. Honestly, I'd be editing my TikTok videos during my lunch breaks and in between meetings. Like,
because she's the content creator.
I am the content creator too. I'm the talent. I'm the content creator. I'm the marketing agent. I'm all of it.
No, that's real. It's literally like around the clock.
Yes.
But I also like to work. So sometimes I think in your 20s, like you just kind of have to hustle it out. Like I talked about this in the podcast before. Like I think I got a little bit caught up in like the soft life era, and I think that is great. Like there's nothing wrong with like living soft life and like not working hard. But for me, I actually, 1, do like working hard, and 2, I have things that I want to achieve that require me to work hard. Like I can't pretend and be like these goals are just gonna like up and manifest themselves. I have to do. I also
think like, you know, some people we aren't all dealt the same hand of cards. You know what I mean? Some people have a soft life. Not to say some people have it easy, but like, you know, not everyone's set up the same. Live a soft, like I don't feel like I live a soft girl life. I don't feel like I can live a soft girl life. You know what I mean? Like
maybe it's softer, but not like
it's
not the softest.
Like, it's not the softest. Like, you know, it's maybe like it's firm.
It's a firm life.
It's not a hard life, but like firm girl life.
Firm girl life.
But I mean, I work hard because I'm hoping the work I put in makes my life easier or at least more enjoyable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm striving. I do all of this to strive for a particular lifestyle.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The soft life will be had.
Yeah, the soft life will be had. I fear it's not going to be had, you know,
in the next 10 years, maybe.
Not even the next 10 years. Like I try to be Delulu and be like, yeah, by the time I'm 25, by the time I'm 27, I'm going to be living my entrepreneurial dream and working on my laptop on the beach and da-da-da-da. But I do think like, you know, I don't think I'm going to get there by climbing corporate ladders. No, I mean,
I just finished the book by Naval Ravikant, who is like, he's big in tech and he's like built all these businesses. And he was saying that to become wealthy, you need to be able to do 3 things. You need to be able to code. And if you can't code, you need to be able to like do a podcast, like something creative or write. And I think essentially what he's saying too is like you have to like be able to build something on your own because you're not even I think you can totally make a lot of money. Like as we're saying, like people make a lot of money like working in tech. But as far as like building real wealth, I think you have to start a business.
Personally, and like, you know, I'm not trying to be the one who's like, you know, everyone should have an LLC, But I do think like, you know, there's a lot of ways to become wealthy. I do think entrepreneurship is one of the, I don't want to say easiest ways, but most feasible ways. You know what I mean? Like, I really do think that way. Like, I don't know. Like, because when you think about like the companies we work for and how much money we're making, and the only reason we're not rich is because the people at the top are getting all the money. You know what I mean? Like, and like, I don't want to run a business where I hope my business will be big one day, but I also don't want to run a business. I want to be comfortable, but I also don't want to run a business where, you know, it's making all this money and everyone who worked for me, like, you know, makes chips. You know what I mean? Like,
but you said that already. You said that's why your bags are priced how they are because, or will be priced accordingly soon because you want to be able to pay everybody ethically.
Yes, exactly. And, you know, I forgot what I was saying.
Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you good.
Bad podcaster.
No, you good. You realize that businesses make so much money and the only reason you as an employee are not making so much money is because people are greedy. And so like, even though like you as an individual probably make a lot of money for your company, you know, the revenue of that is not being distributed in a way that's probably fair. And so when you start your own business, you realize, oh shoot, and it's doing well, this is a lot of money. And you realize, wow, like I get to keep, like, especially as a small business, you get to keep most of that money. And the ideal situation is you have, at least for me, is I have a few employees who also get paid decent salaries. And we have a very profitable business where everyone's, you know, happy. We have a great product and everyone's getting paid well. Yeah. You realize how much you get to, you know, eventually you realize how much you get to keep when, you know, there's only 3 people in your company and you're making money. So that's the goal.
Yeah. I feel like I'm ready to like tackle the rest of the day.
Yeah.
But it's also been so nice like having you around because I feel like before we started doing our weekly Zoom sessions, I'm saying our like weekly productivity sessions, I would like kind of like screw off my whole day, but like linking up with you and like we both like work, that has just been like
I feel like we've been like accountability partners, which has been really nice. Like both like with fitness, we're now running. Girl.
Yeah, we're running. Gabbie was so adamant about not running. I was like, I think I want to start running. Gabbie was like, no, I do not want to run. But it's something about, because you saw my video and I was watching all the other running girl. It's like when you see these videos of girls running, I don't know what it is. It just makes you want to be a runner.
And I just feel like you're so motivational, Angel. Like, you know, I'd be seeing you on your Zoom and I'm like, damn, I should go on my Zoom too. So I was like,
you've been on your Zoom. Even I did not run that much this week. And Montez was like out for a walk and he was like, oh, I saw Gabbie running. I was like, fuck, I need to be out there running too. So you really have, I feel like you motivate me. And when you're down, we help each other. We help each other. Okay, well, let's go ahead and wrap this on up. I like to end each podcast off by asking, what is something that you're fostering for yourself?
Ooh, what am I fostering for myself? I am trying to foster for myself more, honestly, like peace in my life, more relaxation, as well as like more productivity. Like I still want to stay committed to my projects. I have a really big project that, you know, I'm trying to keep working on, stay committed to so it can come to fruition. And so I'm fostering, you know, those things.
I love that. That's beautiful. Well, Gabbie, thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything you want to plug or promote?
Well, I have a business.
Yes.
Shop Relevé. You should follow us. We sell really cute handbags. TikTok and Instagram, especially TikTok. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Gabbie brought me one. We can literally let's unbox it together. Gabbie brought me one from the new fall collection.
Yes. Shop Relevé.
First of all, can we get into this packaging?
It's so do the girls bananas.
The little ASMR.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I am obsessed.
I feel like this is such your color too. Like I've been looking at you, like how you've been styling your fall looks lately, and I feel like
no, this is so cute. Why does this eat so hard? This is so cute. I feel like it matches my outfit really cute too.
You know what I mean? I just feel like I really saw it for you.
So they have the we have the long strap here. Oh, and this helps it keep its shape.
Yeah.
So much intention in the packaging, in the shipping. And it even has a little pocket on the inside, if you guys can see. A little zipper pocket on the inside.
Put your monies.
And then a little thoughtful note. Oh, Gabbie, thank you so much.
Friends.
I am so excited to wear. So yeah, it comes with a short strap and a long strap. I'm really feeling a short strap recently, but you came in with yours with a long strap, and I was like, "Ooh, that looks really cute."
Lately, I've been going crossbody. Like when I want to be more sporty, like I filmed like the outfit I'm wearing at home. I did like I wore like heels and I did the short strap, and then I put sneakers on. I did the long strap. So different looks for.
I have to say, I feel like this is each collection you're up and coming. I mean, you've only been doing this for 8 months, but I feel like when I got my package for my first bag, like it was cute, but I feel like you stepped it up. With
this. That's what we want.
Like even the hardware.
Yes, I'm even trying to upgrade that even more.
I just love how much thought and intention that you're putting into your bag to like constantly elevate. Like I sometimes feel like people get comfortable, and I don't see that you're getting comfortable. Yeah. You're like constantly striving for better.
I think it's because I slightly feel like I have something to prove. Like, you know, I want people to receive my product and feel like it was worth it. So.
Is it because it's a Black-owned business? You feel like
that? It's a Black-owned business, and like we were kind of talking about this. So I was recently featured in Essence.
I forgot to say that. Yes.
Shop Relevé. Well, the brand is called Relevé, but our Instagram is Shop Relevé. And we were recently featured in Essence magazine, and I was so honored to be featured alongside Brandon Blackwood, another brand called by Siriaco. I could be saying her brand wrong, but she has really cute bags as well. Hanifa, alongside Hanifa.
Yeah, they styled it with Hanifa.
And I think I just like, you know,
Totally. Oh, I'm so excited. I mean, I've gotten a little sneak peek, y'all, and I'm just like, girl, can you come on and hurry up?
I'm literally itching to drop the new bag.
I'm so ready. Like every time I go to her apartment and I see one of the bags sitting there, I'm just like, can I just walk out with this?
Know, right?
And like nobody would know, but no, I'm super excited about it. My Sansarin.
Yes. So I feel like it just looks so cute on you. Like,
yeah, no, we have to film some videos today with this.
I love it.
Well, Gabbie, thank you so much for coming on. This was honestly, like, I learned so much from you, but also I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had so much fun too. I love this. This is fun.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening. Like I said, or like Gabbie said, definitely go run and get your new Sarin bag. Definitely check out the fall collection. There's another one that I'm probably going to get too. It's the terracotta. It is so cute. I just don't have a color, like a bag that color. So yeah, definitely run and go get those. And if you listened all the way through, please be sure to like and subscribe. Y'all know that means so much. If you're listening on Spotify, feel free to follow the podcast, and also rate and review if you're listening on Apple. That means so much. That is how the podcast grows. And I appreciate all the support thus far. And I will talk to you in the next one. See you soon. Bye. Or talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.